More important to the card world, though.
Yeesh.
The Fanatics news. You have the statement.
So this is the statement that was sent to us, and many guys actually got it because they own card shops that listen to the show.
Before you read the statement, too, let me set up why we're even talking about this, because everybody's heard this from 20 other people now. I mean, literally everybody who does content has talked about this, and I can tell none of them are in any of these pilot programs. At least not the people I've heard speak to. The people I've spoken to privately who have card shops, it's a different story. So the reason I want to address this is the death of the local card shop, breaking, everything's going away, Fanatics is taking over, you're not going to be able to do anything with Topps products except sell in person. So the truth of the matter is some shops are going to be hit hard by this, that's no question, we're not going to downplay that. Breaking as a whole has no impact at all with this. This is the agreement in the contract that is given to local card shops. This is the LCS agreement. This is not the breaker agreement. Totally different verbiage, totally different wording, nothing at all to be the same. Also, the people at Fanatics have told me very directly, you can have a breaker account at a shop as well. You can have 2 separate accounts. So if you still want to sell stuff online and break, you just get into that program as well and get another account there.
I wonder if it's a lot easier once you have a card shop account.
Maybe. Not ideal.
That could still be an issue.
Sure,
yeah.
and I'm not watering it down, but I did want to at least add some truth to the fact that this is just going to cripple everybody. And then the other thing is, the overall goal here is to make shops sell in person, bring back the card shop experience. I think they overreached a little bit too much here, quite frankly. It's always too much overreaching. So having said that, Jesse can read the statement. I'm going to interrupt him a bunch like normal, but yeah.
Oh, you want me to read this entire thing?
No, just read. Can you hit the high points? Do you have a highlighter?
I didn't highlight the screen on here, but the highlights are any products that are purchased through your account, your local card shop account. These can only be sold in certain situations in a certain way. So it says products are for resale to direct consumers in a physical retail brick/mortar environment only.
So in-store only. So that right there, by the way, one thing that there's more that alludes to that as well. But one thing most card shops do, I talked to 2 card shops that are absolutely massive, like nationwide is just about as big as it gets. And I talked to another one that's a very big shop as well. So 3 in total in the last 2 days since this news kind of started leaking. The biggest thing they told me, and they all brought up the same point, is, well, this eliminates pre-selling online. A lot of guys used to list, hey, we'll have this stuff in store, lock up your stuff now. You can go, I mean, even Nate Burns, I didn't talk to Burns, by the way, at Grand Slam, but he does that. You go on his website and look what he has. A bunch of stuff for sale, personal boxes. You go on a week or 2 ahead of time, lock it up, sell it, great, they ship it to you.
Yeah.
That piece of information right there, though, are they going to enforce that with blowout as well?
Well, and to be clear, this is for specifically unopened boxes.
Right, boxes you get in.
Now, blowout's different because they derive most of their sales from online. They wouldn't be a brick and mortar in this situation.
True. Okay. Yep.
So
that's true.
That would be the other breaker category, I guess.
Yes. Okay. Sorry.
So this also goes on to say that
huge impact, by the way. If you cannot pre-sell boxes, a lot of guys do that. That's going to really hinder a lot of shops.
Yeah. No going on to a company or I guess Shep, like they can't go on there and just list.
But see, Shep is one that I honestly think it's not going to affect at all. He does everything in store anyways.
Well, no, I totally agree. But just for that example, I would use Shep, but I mean any card shop that's out there who puts out product right now, they can't go and list that on their site.
Correct.
Right?
So that's what I mean.
This is for I guess
this is for boxes you get point from that account. That's what the wording says.
Not pre-sale.
The wording says online, physical only. So to your point though, Shep, great card shop here in Hendersonville, Shep's Cards. I think that's kind of the model. It seems to me like they want to promote local community shops that have nothing but foot trap. And great foot trap. I'm not knocking him, by the way.
Yeah.
But like a lot of these guys do more than that. Anyways, go ahead.
So you can't use this account for personal products, so you can't buy products for yourself through this, and they're not for repacks unless specifically authorized. It also goes on to say products in store are for in-store breaks only.
So this is interesting.
Provided breaking slots may not be sold or solicited online to anyone not physically present in the retailer store.
Yeah, so a lot of guys will have Like you have a card shop, they would have, I mean, a lot of people do this. Somebody is just live, one of their employees online on a live selling platform, on Facebook, Instagram, wherever they go, and they're breaking online. They're now saying you cannot do that. I think that's going to negatively affect a lot of people.
Yeah, I think obviously if they are just as willing to give you a breaker's license as they are a card shop license, that's fine. Maybe this is just more for stats, stat keeping and things like that. But if it is going to be, hey, I got my card shop license, but now I can't get a breaker license or whatever the case may be that allows you to sell online, then this is where you see a real negative impact. But I guess we don't know. Like, I don't know if this is even a story at the end of the day, because if it is just as simple to get another license and to do it through that instead of your online or your card shop license, then who cares?
Yeah, but I mean, this is going to change what a lot of people do.
Well, it is if they can't get that other license, if they can't get the retailer one.
Yeah, and I don't know if there is a way to get into the breaker pilot program at this point anyways.
Oh, so you'd think it is going to be difficult for them to get that?
I think it could be. I don't know. But I just mean, but again, the overall thought was there's been a lot of disinformation and just like, hey, Fanatics is doing this, that, and the other thing. Maybe they are. Maybe that's what's happening. At the same time, this is card shop specific for right now. That's all we have to go on.
Yeah.
Period. Like, there's not anything else here. But guys who are like, you know, breaking is done, all this is done. Now, granted, what scares me is when they release this thing to you and it says, oh, by the way, SCN breaks, only allowed to break on the Fanatics Live platform or wherever. Is that the next step? And maybe it is. I don't know. But it makes you
the pushback on that. Well, and then you have to think like there'd have to be some kind of regulation, or the other biggest company out there is the Whatnot, right? Like that would compete against Fanatics Live. They have so much money, you would think they would do something to stop that.
Okay, very simple. If I told you, hey, you're a massive breaker on Whatnot right now, we are cutting off your Tops allocation. You'll get no more Tops product unless you come and break on Fanatics Live. What are you going to do?
I mean, obviously, I'm going to go over there. However, I'm also going to be on my social media saying something. I'm going to be in touch with the Whatnot people saying something. Like, there will be people who will say, they'll grin and say, yes, sir.
I don't disagree.
No matter what you say, Fanatics. And
but
then,
what real power do they have? These guys make
I mean,
the
that's
cards.
where you start getting into legislative and laws and things like that. Like, that's where they would take it. No doubt. There'd be, like, some kind of monopoly view to it. And they'd say, hey, they're not creating a fair marketplace for people to come and buy.
But even
cars.
that's years away. Like, even if you pursue that, that's years away. Like, that's not going to happen overnight. And I guess in my head too is if you make a product and you give it to people to sell to make a profit on, doesn't that give you the right to dictate where they sell it?
I mean, I think that argument can absolutely be made as well. That's the problem.
By the way,
like
that argument hurts me. I'm not trying to make the argument.
Yes.
Although if that's the case, hey, wouldn't hate the invite to Fanatics Live. But no, I mean, honestly, it does make you think. Like, this has had pushback everywhere. We've not heard word one from Fanatics. We both reached out to individual sources there to come on and talk about this. They wouldn't, although I was told privately, hey, there's going to be more coming. But I don't know that there is any pushback to this.
Yeah.
Like, what is the pushback? Hey, pushback loud enough and we take your account. Oh, okay. Then most guys are going to smile and be like, oh, okay.
I think from my experience, because I don't think we ever talked about this, but after we did the story talking about how Ruben was ripping the card with the soccer player and they pulled that Jackie
the Sterling
Robinson
box with the Jackie Robinson cut. Yep.
Fanatics did reach out about that, and they, I mean,
to their credit, yep.
To their credit, they agreed that it was not a good look at all, and it was, I mean, and this is for everyone to decide on their own, but they swore up and down. This was not planned whatsoever. This was a box from within Fanatics at the time that they went and grabbed. They brought it up, and they, at the end of the day, hated that card was pulled because that means what everyone thought it meant, which is, oh, now it's no longer in circulation. That's like one of the case hits, and now I can't pull that card, essentially possibly devaluing that product. So they thought the same thing. They didn't like it, and I think my opinion is at the end of the day, they seem to be willing to, I guess, take their lumps when they get them. You know, like they will agree that maybe something wasn't the best look or whatever the case is. So I think if guys are pushing back and they see some rule that says, you know, this is, you have to do it this way or it's the highway, I don't know if that's necessarily going to be the case that the guy that pushes back is going to be like,
I hope
you're
not.
out. Because they seem reasonable and they seem willing to listen.
So, by the way, 2 other lines here I wanted to just, it says, for clarity, products are for resale directly to consumers in the break physical environment. It does say, though, 2 examples, no business to business or online sales. And here's the other thing nobody's real, unless agreed upon by tops in writing. Mm-hmm. So my card shop does online breaks. Like, I see this, can I just write hey, here's where I break and here's what I do with some of my product. Can I continue? I'm also curious to see how lenient will they be with that. Mm-hmm. If they're very lenient with, yeah, of course, if that's what you're breaking, can you prove what you're doing? Cool, keep going. Maybe it doesn't change anything, but that first line, I heard from, same thing, and these are not made up numbers, 3 guys yesterday, and one guy was very adamant, well, hey, this is going to really hinder what I do. I take this product and I sell it on DealerNet, which is business to business. DealerNet is a B2B. Hey, these are the cases I have. This is what I will post them for sale, and there's just buy offers sitting there as well.
Yeah.
I don't care if you can no longer take cases and flip them to another breaker or flip cases to blow out and make money. That does nothing to help anybody but yourself. I don't care. And by the way, I had done that in the past on a number of products. We're breaking so much now, I can't do it. Mm-hmm. But there were years past where I get a ton of product, and at the end of 30, 40, 50 cases, I've got 10 left. The price is spiked to a point in my head it's not worth breaking.
Yeah.
I'm going to sell the cases off. No doing that. So no micro distribution is really what it's saying. Mm-hmm. I'll be honest. Again, doesn't benefit me, but I don't mind that. If hey, Jesse, here's a case. Go out and make your 20% to take care of your community. Mm-hmm. I don't want to find you selling it to another retailer so they can mark it up. I have no issue with that. A lot of guys complained about that, and it's like, well, too bad. Like, they want to get rid of distribution. They want to get rid of micro distribution. That part I'm actually totally okay with. And this line about unless otherwise agreed upon by tops in writing. Well, hey, here's where I break. Can I continue to do this? Is that something you hear back from? And a lot of guys continue business as usual. If that's the case, again, I don't see a ton of this reads a lot worse than it is. Yeah. Now, if they're going letter of the law, this could be very bad. But that's why I wanted to address it off the top, because there has been so much just, again, doom and gloom. Fanatics hates the LCS. Card shops are doomed. It's over. Breakers are gone. A lot of that is totally made up. Some of that is embellished, and there's some shreds of truth that is actually in this statement that I think we may see how it plays out.